can take this one there, but you need to watch.
Why don't you just I think extended is a way to go right now, because often when we are using I mean duplicates, often you can see the other speed. See the other, just have to get it.
Okay.
Well, what did they show for you? No naked men. There's no naked men carrying coconuts. No, not PC only.
No, I just want So what say is the show for the screen? Could you?
Someone needs to get me some croissant. What's up? What's up? Yeah, I will take you. You know, in my head is like, hold on. We're about to begin. Give me to see the video with sound. Yeah, the video. Oh, Alex, no go on. Direct. Well, my kids have the sound house. You can hear the voice for them. You come. They come for the laptop.
Yeah.
Before you come. No come. If you put some for them. Yeah, we're not. Hold on. Get a stream. 020 909. It's like 0. Yeah. 020 909 8507. Okay, my I need the link to share. That's when you're standing in front of us.
Hello?
Let's begin.
Hello.
When you're done, you come again.
Two. Yeah. 1, 2. Hello. 1, 2. 2. 1, 2. 2. Hello. 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 1, 2. 2. Hello. Hello. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to, excuse me. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's event, AID. It's actually the first this year after being on break. Surely it's Ghana they're going to live, and this year we feel like exploring the urban environment in Accra, going into other places and having the AID there. Unfortunately, Joe can't be with us tonight. He extends his sincere apologies. He wished he could have been here, but he has to leave for Abuja tonight. This evening, and also the first for this year, we are beginning with the younger generation of which we call Generation X. And we feel that the youth or the younger generation have a lot to offer us in this country. So tonight we are beginning a conversation, an exciting one as well, with um, five young, five very young entrepreneurs and activists and creatives in the city of Accra. I would like to hand you over to our co-host, one of our co-hosts, yeah, to use the hand now.
I have to say, anytime someone calls me very young, I get excited. Very young. I am a PR head, PR manager. I manage reputation and branding. I'm all about perception and what people think and how to present things in a better light, even if it's not so good. So this is an exciting conversation for me, but I'm just going to hand it over to everyone to introduce themselves.
I am Nana Bianca, and I'm founder of Naya Metro, and we make skincare products, skin and makeup products using natural oils and butters and other ingredients from around here. Yeah.
My name is Hassan Swali. I'm an architect. I'm the founder of Mesh Ghana. Mesh Ghana is an organization that is all about harnessing Ghanaian creativity towards solving a number of things. I'm sure in the subsequent conversations I will mention to make some of that stuff. I think Mesh.
Hello, my name is Kinfura Davis, and I am an artist based here in Los Angeles. I'm originally from Los Angeles. While I'm here, I actually wear two hats, both working as an artist, and I'm involved with a clothing brand that's produced here, Costa Hero. Yeah, I'm here about half the year, so I'm on this panel to present my ideas as an outsider who is aiming to be an honorary Ghanaian.
So my name is Nana Fusua Kokoya. I'm a writer. I'm a writer and a filmmaker and a cultural historian, and I set up an institute here in Accra called the Anno.
Okay, come again.
Hello. Is it working? I set up a cultural research institute here in Accra in the actually opening for the 17th of October. I'll talk a little bit about the context of what's going on with that. But it's mainly research projects, film production, communication. And I'm very interested in contemporary cultural production and how it relates to society, but also tracing trajectory from the past.
Oh, great. I think we can just jump into the conversation. I introduced myself, so yeah. Hi, people. I'm all PR. So just in case I need to reintroduce myself, but let's jump into the conversation. What do we even think about crime firstly? Before I hand it over to Hassan to start the conversation, what do you think about crime right now as it is?
I'll say something. For me, it's really interesting. I first started coming here only 2 years ago, so I was pretty new. And I was mentioning to the panel earlier that as a person born and raised in Los Angeles and coming here, there's actually a lot of similarities. So there's this kind of like kinship and belonging that I feel here that perhaps I was surprised about once I came. Sort of the pace of life, the way the city is laid out, how the traffic, how people interact with each other. I mean, here it's a bit more pedestrian, but it like traffic car driven city, which states from a lot of those things comforting and familiar in a weird way. So that's my point of view.
Accra. I guess I see it in different lights because it's go to Accra and you get different. Okay, this place is growing, it's developing, it's changing, and yeah, growing up here, I thought I knew where Accra was, but then going away out for a while, and then coming back again, then you realize that I didn't know as much about Accra as I thought I did, or maybe it's changed a lot, and I didn't realize that all that change is happening because of course now all the roadways and all the cities that fall all the way out, from Yarifa to Kaswa to different areas where before it seemed so far away, but now it seems so near. But then within all of that too is all the fancy high-rises and expensive cities, and then the St. Nash Squares, the Hawkins, everything. So it's just a mix of different things all in one place. Once you think you grew out, then depending on where you are at this point in time, Accra could be a city, it could be a village, it could be a town, it could be anything you want it to be. So that's kind of what I think about that.
Okay. I mean, I was raised in Accra, and I went off to Kumasi to study architecture for about 7 years. Like she said, I went back to Accra from Kumasi. So many things have changed. But one thing that my architecture education has done for me was to give me that sunlight to see potential. Exactly. The game Accra.
Can we come to
That's the best thing I've got my potential. Right? I'm riding along the beaches, attending events and cultural spaces. The only thing I see the most important thing is what's the most important potential that Accra has for the future. Because Accra has so much room for it, but we don't seem to really, appreciate what we have as a season. And so we haven't done enough to plan ahead. That's the point of
I mean, I think I really love that. I love the diversity of the areas. Like I've just been spending a lot of time in Jamestown in the last couple of months. I'm really getting deeply into the culture there. I've been doing that more. There's so much history within different parts. I really appreciate that. And it's kind of it's really not. So things like the kind of gaps between people, that things are really expensive, that the housing is getting more and more expensive. Things like that the kind of housing standards that they are seems not really into things like that, and even in terms of the way roads are planned, traffic is lobbying, things like that. I think in terms of planning and actually finding solutions to practical problems, I find trying. But apart from that, I feel like the creativity and the buzz of the city right now is so exciting. There's actually nowhere around right now.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know about that though. As for me, I'll be honest with you. I think I also have a love-hate relationship with Accra.
Yeah.
Half of the time I'm like, oh my god, Accra is so stressful. I can tell you that I say that every morning as I go through traffic from music to my office at home. It's very stressful. I was in traffic for about an hour between, for those of you who use music, an hour between Coca-Cola roundabout and Manhattan. That's less than a minute traffic in the regular time. And for me, it's all about, okay, this is Accra. What am I doing in the first place? Sometimes you just want to pull your hair out when people are just, you have pockets, things are not going on. These things, the church next door is speaking and shouting. And then those in public, if you're having a drink or you're just hanging out with like-minded people, people who have shared the same cultural experience as you, and you love the vibe, and even just going out to get food. For me, Accra represents that experience. That, love hate. Accra is my love hate. It's like that boyfriend you had for a couple of years now. Love it, but you can't stand it. Well, I guess. Well, there you go. So I guess now that we've shared our views on Accra, maybe let's just jump into what we think we would do if we were, well, what we should do if we were here. That's a big thing. Mayor Hassan, the only gentleman here. Mayor Hassan.
Thanks, so I prepared a bit of a presentation. Being an architect, you assume, or you imagine that I'm a very short person. It's hard for me to talk about my ideas without showing you. That's important. Okay, so who am I? I'm an architect, like I said. I studied architecture. Okay. And one of the things I learned earlier on in my architecture education days, with people like Joe Ado, who have been mentors since those days. One thing I've learned is that the role of the architect is not just about buildings, it's more about shaping society. So, that idea sort of brought me to a point where I realized I needed to, do a lot more about society than just buildings. And I decided to study urban design, which I think was one of the major things that we are getting wrong in this country. And one of the major things about a city, if you wanted a city to function, it has to have a really good transportation system, which is something that Accra lacks. We have somewhat of a makeshift system where we just have to survive. So if you could just go back to the first slide, this one, yes. So the mayor of Bogota, who's now the former mayor, made a statement. He says the developed country is not a place where the poor have cars. It's where the rich use public transport. I don't know if you agree, but I'll just leave that for next slide. Next slide, please. One of the most universal, rights of everybody is that one of the declarations in most constitutions all over the world is that all citizens are equal before the law. I put a question mark here, which is basically to ask ourselves, is that really the case? Are all citizens equal before the law? A very interesting picture, or set of pictures that I discovered very early on in my urban design studies. The space required to transport 60 people. So I don't know them, it makes sense, right? So, but let me just go through them one after the other. So in the first instance, you have 60 people being transported by 60 cars. Then you have 60 people being transported by one public bus. Then you have 60 people transported by 60 bicycles. So this is supposed to give us certain context, give us an idea how much space is really needed for each of these, methods of transportation. Now, if you think that, or if you agree with the fact that all citizens are equal before the law, what this image should tell you is that the same amount of space that is needed to transport 60 people should be equal regardless of the system of transportation. So the fact is that's not all the 30,000 car decides to drive in the city. Does not mean that he has the right to more space as a pedestrian within the city or the man who rides the bicycle. And so, I mean, I'll leave it to you again to decide whether all citizens are equal for next line. Now, if you live in Accra, you know what options you have. These are the options that you have. Most of us, day in, day out, use the trotro system. And this is what trotro looks like. You have to struggle sometimes at rush hour to get to work, and then if you have to get back home, you struggle to get into the trotro. There's nothing that shades you from the elements of the weather, and they are not the safest means of transportation, which I'm sure most of you have experienced. And of course, because they are privately owned systems, so they compete against each other. That also accounts for the very chaotic option, convenience option. So as soon as anybody gets to the point where he can afford a car, I mean, that seems to be the most convenient thing to do. But then, of course, this is what you're faced with, a situation where you have all these cars stuck, and which most of the time when we think about solutions to traffic, the issue of traffic, I think that pops up is let's build more roads or let's expand our roads. Now, I chose these pictures because these bottom two pictures because this is the Tetequashi interchange. In the morning, going towards Accra, the first one, and then in the evening, going back towards, the eastern side of Accra, Adenta and Medina and Bicom. And it gives you an idea that even though we thought that expanding the roads would be the solution to traffic situation that we find ourselves, but as long as you keep expanding the roads, you're going to get more cars coming in, and they'll get choked again. Then you expand, and then you get choked again. Next slide, please. So as a mayor of Accra, if I had the opportunity, or if I had a chance to advise the mayor of Accra, I'd ask that we take a second look at the road network of Accra, which is quite a very interesting one. In fact, whoever did this was a genius. This is it's called the ring road system, right? Everything radiates from the center. And there are a lot more roads within, but this is the major structure. This is very schematic, so forgive me if some of the distances don't seem right, it's not to scale. But just give us an idea what we're looking at. And this is what I would use as a framework to design a road transit system for Accra. Next slide. Now, I'm sure most of you have heard about the BRT. And speaking about it in this country for quite a while now. Our mayor has spoken about it. We've seen some things being done towards it, but I feel like we've got the whole thing turned upside down. Because there are two things that are very essential for a BRT system to work. First of all, you need to have bus lanes. You can't have buses running on the streets as a solution to road traffic if they don't have exclusive lanes. Now, someone will look at the photograph like this and say, I'm traffic when I'm driving my own car, and all these buses will be zipping by. And the reason why we should be stuck in traffic, why they zip by, is that all of these cars here, if you look at them, and if you've been at a bus stop waiting to get on the trotro before, you notice that most of the cars that drive past you, at the most, there'll be two people sitting around. So which tells you that the roads that have been built for all these cars are transporting more cars than they are transporting people. And the role of the mayor is not to transport cars. The role of the mayor is to transport people. So you have the opportunity to design a road transport system. I'll spend a lot more of the money building, roads for public vehicles. Next slide, please. Now, these are examples of the BRT system being implemented in mostly South America where it originated. And it's a very interesting system because even though it originated in the developing world, this is something that is being adopted by even the advanced world. So this is the reverse of what we are used to, where something, an idea comes from the developed world and it comes down to be adopted as a developing world. Now this is the developing world finding cost-effective solutions to their traffic situations. And this is in Bogota and Colombia. And what they've done is they create this extra lanes in the middle and they put stations right there. And these stations act just like the subway system, but this is just at a fraction of the cost of the subway system. And I mean, there are so many things going for the BRT system. There's absolutely no reason why we should think about anything else. Maybe when we get to the question and answer session, I could elaborate a bit more on why the BRT is better than any other system for a country like Ghana, for example. And of course, what makes it even more interesting is the fact that the ticketing systems are automated. And you don't have to queue for so long to get on. And there's so many things going on. So I'll get into that later on. Now, anytime I have this discussion about the road transit system, the BRT system for Accra, I get a lot of skeptics, my friends, and some of my friends, of course, and just many people I speak to, they tell me it's not possible. I mean, how can you do that? It's just too expensive and all of that. But then I think it is not a matter of expense, how expensive it is. It's more a matter of planning and design. And so I always like to use this is an image of the N1 highway. And before the N1 highway was commissioned, the idea of the BRT had popped up, and there was a lot of talk about it. And I always wondered why, if we intended to implement a BRT system, and then we have such a huge infrastructure, we shouldn't just integrate it into the design. And as you can see from the illustration I've done there, the red marking is just to give you an idea of what could have been the bus lanes for the BRT system. And this will come at an extra cost because it's a matter of design, isn't it? So you use somewhere and then you put it somewhere else. So in this case, the little median that divides both streets, you can easily divide it into two and then create a barrier for buses going back and forth. Next slide. And this is just a little schematic to give you an idea that it's also actually possible to integrate the kind of stations that the BRT system uses. Even if we had to do one footbridge and then integrate in such a way that people can actually move across and into the station. This BRT system is that, first of all citizens are supposed to be more affordable. And so if we decide to do this, anytime we have a traffic situation, what it means is that we are saying that the man who drives that $50,000 car is more important than the man who walks on the streets. And so if we thought otherwise, next slide please. This is what we would do. This is in Shanghai, the financial center of Shanghai in China. And if you look at it, it's quite a huge infrastructure. But what it's telling you is that, it's more important for people to move freely across the city than for cars to move freely across the city. And so much has been put into making sure that the economic activity in this area is being enhanced because people are able to walk, interact with each other, they're able to get from one shop to the other very easily without having to deal with the cars. So the cars are the nuisance, not the pedestrians. And a picture like this, bigger streets. So if you took this and juxtaposed it on a photograph of Panorama Circle, and integrated a road transit system across the ring road, which are proposed in the initial one, what it means is that we wouldn't have had to spend as much money that we are spending on building that three-tier interchange as we would have needed to a road transit system that works across the ring road effectively. And then at the end of the day, keeping that economic activity that we have in Panorama Circle, thriving. Because right now, what's happening is that after that thing is built, what's going to happen below those bridges? There's going to be a lot of crime. There's going to be lots of, the hawkers will take over the place if we don't do something about it. And that's one of the rules of urban design. You either do something as a city about the space, or the people who need it will take it and do with it what they want to. So this would be the first thing I'll do about moving. I think this yeah.
Right.
I don't know if you want me to continue or yeah, okay. All right, so this will be the first thing I'll second thing I would do if I was mayor of Accra is that I told you I was a professional person.
All right.
Okay. Yes. So traffic, still on road traffic, and apart from the cars, there's another major reason why there's so much traffic on our streets, which is the fact that everyone is trying to build their own little home as far away from the middle of the city as possible. And so, okay. Okay. What I would do as mayor is that I would encourage developers and private builders, home buyers, to take a second look at the inner core of within the ring road of Accra. There's so much land. The density is so low, it's unacceptable. In fact, what happens in most cities, and what should happen in most cities, is that you should have as dense a city center as possible, because human beings are very, very social beings. I mean, it's the reason why we go and sit at the mall and not buy anything. We just sit there all day watching people. We like to look at each other. We like to gossip. It's a natural phenomenon. It has something to do with the human psyche. It's an animal psyche, in fact. And there's nothing we can do about it. But when we do what is more counterintuitive to what the human being will do, what happens is that we start creating problems like we have done in Accra. So you drive, you drive around the inner perimeter of the ring road in Accra from the evenings, you realize everything is there. Everyone is living out of the city. They're out there. If you go to Accra Central, there's highways happening there. Everyone is driving out of the city. And those who have their homes in the heart of the city, they have huge compounds, where nothing is happening. And the government has got so much, so much land. They have a hold of so much land in the city that if I'll be trying situations that will make developers find these areas more attractive, so that they can actually build rather than having to go all the way outside the city. Because of course, like he was saying, when he has to drive for so long to get to take this, right? Yeah. I mean, it's a headache for him. That's not really why she hates the crowd. Or the other reasons why she loves it. And so I'm sure most of you are going to be if they're far away and you also have to drive in the traffic. Well, I don't know about all of you, but how many of you wish you had your home within the ring road, an affordable home? How many of you? Really? Okay, well, you gotta drive out of the city. That's fine.
Make this conversation, but that's actually true because if you notice, not everyone can live like that. So the question really is, does everyone want to live in the heart of the city? Because I think that the way cities work is that you have different spots. So you have a centralized location. Of course, you have a city center, and then you also have other centralized smaller houses. And I think that's what's happening with Accra right now. Because people couldn't afford to live within the inner perimeter of the city, everyone else is living outside. Accra has spread beyond its original boundaries. But then you also have all these. East Legon is a house in its own. So people are fine with living in East Legon and commuting to work. It's just a matter of how we do it. And I think that's pretty much where the issue is.
Yeah, I have two questions about what you're saying. One is you kept using the word BRT, and I'm not familiar with that concept.
Sorry?
BRT.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not familiar with the concept. I don't know if other people are. I'm just wondering. I mean, I got a vague idea of what you're talking about, but I wasn't contacted. And the second thing that I wanted to bring up was you mentioned that in an ideal city, everyone would be equal. I'm not the kind of big person that their car would not be more productive than someone walking. But I feel like within our culture, which I feel is very much a big man culture, it's very aspirational and hierarchical. That you're expected to a certain extent. Once you climb up a certain ladder, you get a big car, to put on weight, become a big man. Otherwise you stay a small girl or you stay a small boy. Sorry?
Yeah.
Exactly. The lowest common denominator. And so I feel like things like this, which are so ingrained within our culture, this notion of hierarchy, is almost like a cultural thing. And I've kind of gotten beyond the point of saying, well, how do we change this? But rather, like, how do we look at who we are and what we do and take that and turn it into something else? So how do we take that big, so-called big man culture, which does prioritize a big man with a driver and his big four-wheel drive, and make it into something that's more equal?
Well, I mean, it's not just our society, it's a human, right? Yeah, you get to the point, you're right, you need to let the world know, right? And it's fine. It's okay if you've arrived and you have your $30,000 car, but the point is that that shouldn't be at the expense of the public. And so if I was a mayor of the city, I was more worried about the people, everybody, something that is basic, that is accessible by everybody, and not be worried too much about what is almost like, what's the word for it? You are privileged, something that is reserved for the privileged, right? And so, like for example, if I had to spend $100 million building a road transit system, because mind you, from the illustration that I showed you, it means that we're transporting a lot more cars, right? And we're spending so much money to make sure that the people who can afford the cars will drive freely. And then they're the ones who are always on the news, they're the ones who are always, casting slurs at the mayor and saying that the mayor is not doing anything about the traffic. But the mayor's responsibility is to transport people. So as long as there is an alternative, then you don't have the right to come tell me I haven't made provisions for you. Because if you move your car and you're stuck in traffic and you have all these buses zipping by, and of course BRT, like you're asking, BRT means bus rapid transit. It's a system that mimics the subway system, but it's a lot less expensive because you don't have to dig tunnels. What you do is create lanes that run, and at the end of the day, once that is provided, you have good enough buses, and then I mean, the other parts you need to show up in that car. For example, at a certain time, you have to be in town in the next 30 minutes, for example. And then you have that car, this is not, I'm not going here to flex, it's an important meeting. You can park that car and pop on the BRT system. And for the size of a car, the longest stretch that the BRT system was in place would be probably 20 minutes, the longest stretch. So imagine all the traffic that we have, you have the opportunity to just get anywhere within 20 minutes. Just imagine it.
Can I just say something there? Can I just let me just quickly say this, just in case you have I actually think that the BRT system is informally in place. I think those should double school the truck drivers are actually instituting their own BRT. So even if the mayor doesn't do it, it's happening. Just throw that out. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I like it, yeah. If we're able to implement it, it would be great. And my question to you is, based on what she said, she talked about society and the whole big man driver thing going on. Imagine if you implemented this DRT. I don't know, I'm sure you've done it across, and you've seen how everybody likes to report in traffic. Do you think it's going to be effective to have that lane and there will be only buses that actually use that lane? Do you think that is responsible? Looking at the level of indiscipline, one, with truck drivers, and then two, how everybody likes to feel like they're VIP of some sort anytime there's traffic. I think
So like I said, the BRT cannot run without exclusive lanes. In some societies where the law is more easy to enforce, or to enforce the law, they don't even need physical barriers. But in our part of the world, we know that if you don't fix physical barriers, people will just down the road, right? So you don't even give them the option of getting into the lane in the first place. So the whole thing is basically closed off. It's almost like a subway system, right? You can't drive your car down to the subway along the tracks. So it works in the same way. So you stop barrier. It's just like guys along the N1, for example. This prevents you from that opposite carriageway, right? So if you have two of those, that just keep the PRC passes in those things. There's no way for driver for anybody else to get through.
But have you actually seen how truck drivers actually stop within those lanes and kind of create traffic even within those exclusive lanes? I don't know.
I don't think
Because there's always traffic even within those exclusive lanes that they create for truck drivers. They actually don't even stop where they are expected to stop. They just stop where they want to stop. It's a matter of indiscipline, I guess.
Yeah, it's a matter of indiscipline.
So how then, if we're going to implement something like that, how then do we balance?
That really punish for these kinds of things. I was because I think that sometimes that's really the issue. The fact that people do the wrong thing for so long, and nothing is done about it, it becomes the right thing. And of course, if I was the mayor and I was strong enough to get this, strong enough to keep people out.
Okay, so my thing within the so I mean I guess in all of the development there's a lot of that is actually my major thing for this if I was making there because I'm looking at this whole lot of thing and we always say this is how I acquired. So for instance this after the flood and then sort of Gomorrah and then now they're like okay now we fix it and then but that's what I'm moving back. So the question is so who is at fault here? Is the first the Bashas and mayor because we went to do this before, and now these people are moving back. A year from now, we're complaining that the farmer. So is it that is it the mayor's fault that these people move back, or the mayor's fault that tried to move in and they didn't do it? So there's this thing that we always there's this thing that goes on like where we like to blame authorities for the things that go wrong, but then we don't want to take responsibility for ourselves, but the things that we have responsibility for too. Because
if you know that
this you're not supposed to live in. So we're having this discussion earlier about how, let's say, you have these communities that somebody builds a house, new community starts, and then somebody comes, then this somebody comes to swap. So they first come with the tables, they're hanging out there. Next thing you know, they put up a kiosk. Next thing they know, the container, and then they create the thing, and then it falls. And then at some point, you don't want to be the bad person that goes and says, "Why did you go here? They can't live here. They need to move out." Otherwise, you become the bad person that is trying to take the force for that time. But there is some sort of we have to create some bound with what is right and what is wrong. So we get to the situation if you allow everything and everything to be okay because we want to be empathetic. I guess that's it. I mean, we want to have empathy, but where do we draw the line? Because if we don't draw the lines as to where we say that, okay, this is right, this is wrong, and when this is wrong, it's okay for us to just punish people when something is wrong. And everybody, let's get this together. Let's not let the two people that are saying it be the bad people. And then let's say, okay, you are the bad people because you want, and but meanwhile the rest are sitting outside and saying, oh yeah, they shouldn't be doing that, but nobody's saying anything. And then if you allow the rest of society to smash the two people that are trying to do the right thing, and then that goes on, and then they reset them again, and then the bad Ghana, like, see, that's how Ghana is. We just have to let it be like that. That's how Ghana is. But how we solve to me, that's a lot of you have some regulations that will say it's not okay. That's not okay. If we can create some boundaries as what is going on, what is allowed, what is not allowed, what we can allow people to do, then how do we change anything?
I can't change anything. I agree with you. I think what you're talking about to me is culture. And I think it's again something that's condemning. And first of all, it's a lack of accountability, which goes even into religion, where everything is, you can't, you put everything into God's hands. Absolutely. And if it goes into, contemporary religion, it goes into traditional religion, where, bad things are then relegated with and so there's kind of like cultural lack of accountability because it's always an external force to blame race. And then also I think it goes into this idea of blurred boundaries. I mean, we live in a country where a policeman, if he's stopping, he's not stopping you. Okay, he's stopping you to, take money from you. Yeah. And so, we're living in a country where policemen become robbers. Right. As we've seen recently as well, justice, the people who are supposed to be most accountable for justice and law are the people that we push. So, I mean, all these things that I feel are cultural and it's kind of something that I'd like to talk about, but I think we should move on to your 3 points.
I think,
yeah. Okay.
Well, I will, I guess I will, for me, I'm starting there because that, I think that all of that lawlessness actually has caused something. So, that, what you call the stop, and I'm going to be very radical with this one, only because people are probably going to be like, what? You're going to stop people from selling on the street? But as much as we love it because you don't have to stop on your way home to buy bread, or you don't have to stop to buy bread, or you don't have to stop, and then all of these things have been provided to you as have been from the office, all the way from Medina or East Legon, and this long way, and you are glad that you have to make it stop, so it's great. But in a way, too, it kind of adds to the traffic because there's always pedestrians that have to change. It adds to we're adds to, but there was also all this talking in the street. It's really coming here now. I think I'm going downstairs.
We have to move downstairs to continue this. We're going to use a small room.